right. So let's begin. So, good evening, one and all, and welcome to another episode, well, part two of the three-part series. It was originally carded to be a two-part series, but we are doing a three-part series. So yesterday we spoke with multiple-time Calypso Monarch finalist Miss Stacey Sobers, and tonight we are dealing and diving into sport. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are diving into sport. This is an Andrew Sport Entertainment Consultancy production. This is She Mode, and we are doing this in celebration of International Women's Day. I bid you good evening, good morning, whatever part of the world you are, and God's blessing to you. Good evening to you, Mr. Nicholas Summer. Let's get our guest in. Guys, I hope you are enjoying your weekend so far. And we'll go from here. Are you there?
Yes, I am. Good night or good evening.
I'm not seeing you at all. I'm not seeing you. Right, this is clarify this for a minute. Hope this works out. Okay, you hearing me?
Yes, I am.
Okay, all right. Let me turn my microphone on. Don't let it on. All right, you hearing me?
Yes, I am.
All right, good. So, good evening to you, Miss Swift. And how are you on this lovely weekend?
I'm good. I'm really good. Can't complain. How are you doing?
I am fine. I see you got the curls out. It's all wet.
It's just a real good moisturizer.
Well, yeah, man, of course. We don't, you don't, I don't know if you know, Coming to America, the movie.
Yeah.
Right. You got the soul glow in. You got the soul glow in the curls there, man. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is my guest for this evening. Yesterday we dived into entertainment. Today we are diving into the world of sport, more specifically football. And we have the national team vice captain, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
Senior national team women's vice captain, Miss Victoria Swift. Right. So enough of me talking. So the first question, but they're going to have people who missed that part that I just said your name. So tell us your name and how you got your start in the business of football.
So my name is Victoria Swift, and some people may or may not know I come from a household of 6 children, and I'm the second to last. And funny story, the reason why I started playing was my older sister before me, and my younger sister, the last child of the family, they started playing football, and I just really didn't want to be the odd one not playing, and that is how I became, because I didn't want to be the odd one. And very soon, it became a passion of mine, and I started setting goals from a very young age. Most of them I already accomplished, but I started setting goals from a very young age, and I became very passionate about the sport and very competitive.
Oh yeah, yeah. I've seen the games that I've seen, and I like that. If you're doing some, go all the way in. Don't half-ass it at home. No, I don't believe in that. So, seeing your accomplishments. You play on the national team. You played in university, and um, what are some of the important places that you have played that you enjoy playing, whether it was with the national team or a collegiate career?
So I actually went to junior college for my first year. So I attended Navarro College, which is in Corsicana, Texas, where it's kind of nowhere. It's a very small town. So it didn't have much to do outside of playing. So I would say a lot of my then because the college is so small, like I could have literally walked out of my dorm and the football field was right there at the bottom of my staircase. So my first years in college, I actually really enjoyed it. Not only the footballing aspect because it was a community where the coach made sure that we focused on studies as well, and it was also very family oriented. So even though I was very far away from home, I had my footballing family across there. Some of my teammates I am actually still very good friends with. I'm actually still very close with my coach from Navarro College. So I enjoyed my first 2 years there, and then I finished off my second 2 years at the University of West Florida, which is in Pensacola, Florida. Good thing is, it's very close to a beach, white sand, blue waters, and I didn't really like the beach, so um, it made it feel like home for me. So I also enjoyed staying my last years in West Florida as well.
Okay, that is good. Um, you have been a professional footballer for how long now?
I started right after college, so I started in 2019.
Okay. Well, that's good. You've got 5 years and that's you are a seasoned player by now. 5 years or plus in the business, you are a seasoned player by now. And being be it that you are now the vice captain of the national team and coming through the ranks of football from the collegiate level to the national level. What are some of the changes you have seen in the game from when you started to now?
One of the biggest changes I saw the experience was the technological aspect of it. So, when I first started, we didn't have GPS on the back to track your like running on the field and your heart rate and the scientific aspect of it in the sense of something as simple as band work and rolling out and stretching on a regular basis to prolong a career. All of that information is stuff that I did not have access to or the information when I first started, and it was only later on in my career, probably about 2 years ago, was when I actually started to dive into the science behind the sport and the importance of stretching and rolling out, and that's something that I try to tell the younger players so that they don't wait until they get to my age and then be like, all right, let me start stretching and rolling out now to pull up my career.
It's to me, ma'am. I am an well, I was a semi-professional martial artist, and let me tell you, you see that stretching part that you spoke of there? Listen to me. People don't understand the importance of warming up. When you're 10 and 9 and those age, yeah, you could go from sleep to play. You try that now, you could do it. You might have to call the ambulance after, but
Right.
the importance of warming up. And I like how you touch on that. The importance of getting your body ready and your muscles ready before you do any activity.
Right.
I enjoy that. This is an Andrew Sport and Entertainment Consultancy production. We are talking with Miss Victoria Swift, the National Vice Captain of the Women's Team. And this is in celebration of International Women's Day. So, which leads me to my next question. Seeing that it's International Women's Day about corner, what does that day signify to you?
I'll touch on it from the aspect of sport. That women have been overlooked for so long. When it comes to sport, from level of pay, level of respect, and just being able to have the benefits that the men do have, and that's something that we we have so much with and still struggle with till this day, where we are not as respected as much as the men. However, I would say that women and the whole on the take on really good strides in order to bridge that gap between men and women in sport. And seeing that women's is corner is very dear to my heart, just to see how far we've come. So I don't look back to see, the struggles in a negative way, but to see how far we've come from. And I know that the future is going to be very bright for women in sport.
Politician name is answer like a politician name. See, that's why they give the vice captaincy. You see, you give a politician answer, right? And you touched on that, on seeing that the future is, and I'm an advocate for that. Is that I do see the future bright, not just for females, but sport in general and sport of football. And we have seen the sport of football grow and broken so much barriers over the years, especially when it comes to female football. Now that it is not strange to see 10,000 persons in a female game or 15, or it's not strange to see that.
Right.
You know, if you look about 10, 15 years ago, you might have struggled to see it. But the football business has grown over the years tremendously.
All right.
Do you believe enough is being done by the organizers of football? You could speak on it from a local level or international. Enough is being done to encourage young women in the sport of football.
In my humble opinion, I believe that from a local perspective, I believe that enough is not being done for women in sport and for girls in sport. The opportunities for women in sport, especially in Trinidad and Tobago, are very few. This is where you find, a lot of players having to search for opportunities outside of Trinidad, which is not a bad thing. However, that should not be what they have to do, meaning that we should have programs running in Trinidad and competitions running in Trinidad and Tobago on a regular basis, and even at a high level, to where players won't have to leave Trinidad in order to, find a good playing contract. Because as you look at it, we only have one league, the Wolf League for women in Trinidad, which is a couple months, and clearly that is not enough, especially if it is the national team is trying to find players for playing in the local league. It is not enough time, for the teams to train and for the teams to prepare and for the league to be at a high standard. So where they could say, I could pull players from and they would be ready to perform at an international. So in my opinion, enough at a local level, enough is really not being done. And not only in football, in all the sports in Trinidad and Tobago, I believe that this is an opportunity for the governing bodies to actually focus a little bit more on, women and girls in sports and start to put things in place so that we'll be able to compete once again at a high level. I just go to say, well, all right, I played against Mexico and I played against the US. So we'd be in a position where we're actually able to compete with Mexico and USA and Jamaica and Haiti.
Very good, very good. I like that. As I say, first and foremost, don't get control. You understand? But you answered brilliantly. I like that answer. And I do share your sentiment. I do believe enough is not being done in sport in general, and more so for female continuous development. It always skims the surface and then it stops. And then you skim the surface again and then you stop. But it needs to be a continuous development, and I agree with that. You have played at, and you are continuing to play at a high level in football. And I am sure that directly and indirectly, you are a role model for a lot of young ladies. And it has happened. And then sometimes you just find out through the grapevine that somebody considers you a role model.
Right.
And here you are thinking, you know what, I'm working real hard and I'm doing enough work. And then somebody comes and hits you, you know, you are a role model. And it just be like, geez, I'm going to do more work now because this person is watching me.
Right.
What are some of the methods you use to implement to encourage young women in the sport of football?
I'd say first and foremost, they have to make sure that there's something they're passionate about, because it requires a lot of hard work, a lot of sacrifice. I think a lot of people just tend to tiptoe around what it's really like to play outside or to go away to college and to play. And they just give you the part about it, but they don't give you the real part and the struggle about it. So it is very tough. Not only from a physical perspective, but from a mental perspective as well. Um, so it has to be something that they're passionate about, because there are days for me personally where I want to work out, don't want to eat healthy, because I really like cake and I really like ice cream, right? So being passionate, and then you have to be disciplined at the same time. There would be days where you're not motivated to do what is necessary to take you to the next level. So those are the days where your passion for the sport has to come in. And like I always like to tell people, you never know who is watching, you never know who you're being an inspiration. So, I had a thing where it's like way boy, like I out by the savannah and looking like a crazy person. But then again, in instances like that, you never know who's passing and watching, and just like, I want to be like her one day, or I want to be better than her one day. Like I always tell them, don't try to be like me, try to be better than me. Be better and bigger and victorious. So don't let your aim, your goal be to your arm to be. I want to be better than Victoria's Swift, and I want to achieve more than what Victoria Swift achieved. So that's something that I always talk to the youth about, not only females but also males, because you never know. It's just something that you have to be passionate about and be prepared to work hard. Because if you think you're working hard, and have somebody else working harder than you. So you always have to stay on the P's and Q's, be willing to learn, be open-minded, don't be close-minded, be willing to take constructive criticism. Again, that's something that a lot of the young generation tend to struggle with. Because the first thing you jump up and say, "But this person really don't like me," or "This person have an issue against me," or "Why is this coach talking to me and not talking to the other person?" In my days growing up, it's like, all right, the coach is talking to me, so it's something special in me. So all right, yell at me. And then I had to decipher, all right, is it positive, is it negative, or how do I ignore the negative or ignore the screaming and just focus on points he's given for me to get better as a player. That's some of the key pointers that I would try to tell the younger people, especially coming up in sport, and it's things that have helped me throughout my career.
It is very important when it comes to discipline and not wanting to train something, And so and because especially when let me tell you something, you see when you're not competing anymore and to get up and exercise and train 4 and 5 days a week,
Mm-hmm.
that is headache. So continuing in the aspects of you touched on getting opportunities to play outside and stuff like that. We have seen the global bridge become more accessible to persons in the Caribbean. To say
Right.
that it wasn't accessible was as little as 10 years ago. That bridge wasn't accessible as it is now.
Right.
With the implementation of social media, do you believe that women athletes are understanding the importance of it?
I believe it's kind of touch on in the sense of, like, I'd like to say social media could be a blessing or so it kind of really comes down to what are you posting on social media. No, as a football player, if you're aspiring to play outside, it's not gonna help you if they're posting a whole bunch of pictures of you being in parties, because you're facing a coach or scout would say like, all right, this person is not serious about playing. Their lifestyle doesn't match that of a professional athlete. Now, if it is you're posting videos of working out or you know, it gives people looking on, all right, this person might be serious about wanting to go outside, and it is a very good revenue to help players basically try and get contracts. So agents are always looking for clients. So if they see, if it is you have highlight, post your highlight videos on your profile, or you post pictures of you playing, it basically open up the eyes of agents to say, all right, let me try and represent this person to help them get a contract going out. So it's really all about how you use your social media to get your face or to get your. I think again, we come from a country where the land and the parking is, but out there they don't do with that, and they won't take you as serious as an athlete if it is that's something. So it could be used as a great tool to help players get out there, but you just have to be careful as to the things that they're posting on their social media.
Very good answer. You need to take into politics after your career. You've been around the block a while when it comes to football. Who are some of your favorite female footballers?
Well, I know this person. I'm not sure if she's on now because I saw her logged on. And even though she's say I'm Mama Guy, is captain of my very good friend. My sister, Karen Solange Forbes, and yes, I call her by her full government name so that she knows that it's her. She is someone that I've always looked up to, seeing that she just comment, but that's her. Karen Forbes apparel. Anyhow, she is someone that I actually looked up to when I started playing on the national team, because she was actually on the senior. I was on the U15, so we would always play against each other. So around that time, I was actually a center mid. So both of us would actually play against each other, and was always a battle in the midfield. But apart from the footballing aspect, she is someone who has grown tremendously as a person and as a leader. And it's someone that I look up to in the sense of, well, all right, like once it is I am able to lead the national team, some of her values or some of the things that she implemented is things that I would also implement. I also like playing against Carly Lloyd and Abby Wambakande. Now I actually have a picture of me skate tackling Carly Lloyd when we played USA. And funny enough, like these are players that I always looked up to in the sense of their amazing work ethic, and being able to play against them was an amazing moment, but it was even more amazing that I just skate tackle the crap out of them, to be honest. So those are just a few players who I looked up to when it says I was playing and upcoming.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, this is an ASEC production, Andrew Sport Entertainment Consultancy. This is She Moved, part 2 of the 3-part series. We are here with the national team senior women's vice captain, Miss Victoria Swift, aspiring politician. So I'm putting it in the putting it in the air. I'm putting it in the air. God's blessing will shower upon you, and to see you to just manifest. In the next 5 to 7 years, we'll be calling you Councillor Swift. Mr. Swift. You understand? Yeah, you understand. So, guys, if you have any questions you want to ask Ms. Swift before we wrap up, you can just put it in the comments there. If she sees it, if I see it, and can know. Your favorite footballer of all time, male or female, and why?
Me?
Okay. Mm, 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 mm. That is what we're talking about. That is what we're talking about. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a politician's answer. There's nobody better than me. 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 You understand? And that's it. She didn't matter say why. Because why? I am victorious. That's all you need to know. Right. So, sweet fire questions now, Miss Swift. Let's get into it. What is your favorite thing to do when you're bored?
When I'm
Bored.
bored, I have a couple of things. I love to read. I love to hike. I love the outdoor nature. Um, I love to listen to music, and I love to cook. I love to eat, so that obviously means I have to be able to cook. If it is, I love to eat. You can't love to eat and don't know how to cook. They have to go hand in hand.
That baffles me with people who love to eat and can cook. That baffles me. What is your favorite cheat meal when in season? What's your favorite cheat meal?
I have two things. It might sound like a real combo, but I'd lay it out there because this is about honesty. And it's not healthy, I know, but it's okay. Spicy ramen, a Sprite, salted caramel, or dulce de leche Häagen-Dazs ice cream.
Yeah, I know the spicy ramen. When you see when it drizzle and the cheese on it and good, people just get tired with that pack soup.
Mm-hmm.
Just get tired. If you know how to do it well, man, it looks like a gourmet meal.
Yep.
What is your favorite movie?
I don't really have a favorite movie, but I'd say my favorite genre is I love to laugh. So obviously I look at movies that makes me laugh.
Okay, so let's speak fire for football. You play centre back.
Mm-hmm.
Is that your favorite position, or you prefer to play elsewhere in the field?
Um, it has grown on. It has definitely grown on me. And again, what people may or may not know, I actually started playing defensive mid. Defensive mid was my first position, and it was only when it was I went to junior college. That first year in 20, the old coach they had fired a new coach, and a lot of the players left, so we didn't really have much players. So I went to junior college and started off playing centre mid, but we needed a centre back, and the coach was like, Vicky, I think you can do it. Place me in centre back. And that same year I played in the WPSL in the US over the summer. And the coach had put me centre back. Very nervous because I've never played there to say, well, centre back. And that same year I actually made the all-star team playing centre back. My last 2 years in in my university I played centre mid, and the coach had put me as a target striker on the right. So we were playing three on top, and I was um, didn't really enjoy there as much because of how it is the coach wanted us to play, which was long ball, wingers, so well target players run, and it's either well for me it was either I take the big ball on my chest or run whole game. So um, went into playing professional right after university centre back, and since then it just kind of stopped. with me playing centre back, which I've grown to love over the years. So centre back is first, centre mid would be second.
Okay, cool. What is your favorite thing to do? Score as a centre back. Score a goal or slide tackle somebody where you take the ball, the grass, the shoes, everything. And a clean, I'm talking about a proper clean slide tackle. When you get in and you hear bang and the ball gone, you win the ball, you see the person floating in the air, you see one of the shoes gone, and you take a little bit of the turf with them. What do? You prefer that or a good goal?
As much as I would like to score, you see that initial skate tackling, I always do it, will always do it, love to do it. And the moment when they connect and it's like player and ball, and they catch a real good action photo, nothing better than that, to be honest. And I actually have a few.
I played goalkeeper in university, and that's my best thing to do. See, clearing a ball and the ball and the play and everything. Ooh, beautiful. That rather than scoring a goal, if I can do that whole game, I'll be pleased. Final question, Mr. Seeing that you have all these achievements under your belt in such a short period, what is a word of advice you would give any young woman? This is a two-part question. What advice would you give any young woman wishing to enter the sport of football? And what advice would you give them on life in general?
About life in general. Be brave. Don't be afraid to speak up, to state how you feel. Don't be afraid to put yourself first in situations where, if it is you have to make a choice, so you're doing it for you. And just keep your head up high, work hard, and enjoy it. Enjoy the entire journey, up, down, the days when you're crying, the days when you're in pain, the days when you're about to throw up because the coach running you out, the lungs out. Embrace it and don't focus so much on the destination, but focus on your journey because there's a lot of lessons that you could learn from your journey rather than just being so focused and so close to the destination. Focus on your journey. Take it one day at a time and let it be a moment by moment. Because there are days where you could wake up and say, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z today. And then somebody says something and it throws you off. And it's just that moment where you have to remind yourself, well, okay, like I need to do X at this moment. So let me try to do X. So, just take it one day at a time, moment by moment. And most importantly, don't be too hard on yourself. Because mistakes are going to be made. You're not going to get it correct the first time around. So, don't be hard on yourself.
Very good. I'm just reading through comments in the B Max says, I'm a fan from Monterrey, Mexico. Miss Forbes is laughing. She's blushing. Oh, she did not. Yes. And she asks, what is the most favorite country you play?
This would be Karen asking that question. If it is, I don't know if it is she's referring to country I played against or country I played in. So I'd answer both just to be safe. So country I played in, hands down, Iceland. That was my first ever professional contract. Iceland is very beautiful. No, guys, it's not ice. Greenland is actually ice. Iceland is actually green. Just putting that out there for those who didn't know.
Yeah. Most people didn't know that.
Yeah. and just the environment there. Karen was there when it is I played there, so we've been playing together for a very long time. So Iceland for sure, and I guess country that I played against would definitely be USA, even though scoreline did not show that. Um, I definitely say the US.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. This brings us to the end of She Mode Part 2. This has been an Andrew Sport and Entertainment Consultancy production, where we discuss the elements of sport and football with the vice captain of the women's senior national team, Miss Victoria Swift, an aspiring politician, when she finishes her career. Yes, we are calling it now. And if Miss Forbes is still on the line, I know she would agree with me. We are endorsing Miss Victoria Swift for councillor in the next 5 years. We are endorsing you. Or whenever you choose to finish your footballing career, we are endorsing you. Claiming it. Yes, you see? Yes. She agrees. Yes, she agrees. We are endorsing it from now. God's blessing upon you. The Holy Spirit reign. Pow! Politician. Politician. We're calling it now. Any closing comments you would like to make, Ms. Swift?
I just like to say thank you for reaching out and inviting me to do this interview. It gives me an opportunity, something that I've always been passionate about and will always be passionate about is sharing my story and my journey, because I never know again who I am inspiring or who I am giving that motivation, maybe to try if it didn't get through with the first call up to, try again. And this platform definitely gave me an opportunity to share my story, um, to give advice for those who they need it. So I would just like to say thank you for having me, and I thoroughly enjoyed this interview.
Me blush. So just call out your social media handles so those who may not do it and wish to
Oh,
reach
one
you.
time, I don't know if it is just all. Let me see if I can remember. Otherwise, my Instagram. I think my Instagram is. See, this guy can't be a politician. Just enough.
No, that's why you have advisors and assistants.
Well, Miss
Come on, don't
my
don't
sister, I don't know. Or she might be, I don't know if it is I'll be able to pay her because she's very expensive. Right? I believe my Instagram, sorry guys, is Victoria Swift 08. Um, my Twitter is probably the same thing. I know it has my first name, last name, and the number that I play with, which is 8. So Victoria Swift 8 or Victoria underscore Swift 8. Yeah, not good at this. So somewhere around there.
Victoria underscore Swift 08.
But you asked me, so you're supposed to know that I'm just
What is look, look, Karen, look,
Karen.
Forbes put it in.
See,
You
this
see?
is why Karen is my
She on the
assistant.
ball. You see, when you become the counselor, Miss Forbes is going to be your publicist and your assistant to ensure that you don't put your foot in your mouth.
So guys, my Instagram is Victoria underscore Swift 08. Thanks, Karen. Appreciate you.
So, ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of She Mode Part 2. I wish you God's blessing on your life, to all the guests, to all the former and current footballers who came in, because I saw some names while we were talking. I saw some names popping up to the guests that came in. Kashif Cricketer says, nice assist, skipper. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of the episode. So, Miss Swift, I thank you very much for being a part of it. I wish you God's blessing upon your life. Have a great weekend and God bless.
Thank you so much. Same to you.
Bye.
All right, bye.